Hello, I'm Chanel. This is Starkey Stories, and today I'm doing the Bloomin readathon. So this was created by Alison Pages. I'll put a picture here up of the bingo board. So on this board, the aim is to get bingo by reading books that fill the prompts of all of these squares. So I thought I'd just do a very quick rundown of all of the books that I have paired with the prompts and the squares. I'm not going to go into a synopsis and plots of all these books. It would take way too long, and I want this to be a quick video just so you can see what I might be reading in this month ahead. This is like almost like a TBR thing for me anyway. I will read all of these books at some point, but I am doing them along with this Bloomin readathon. So let's get started. So with the B square, that is for a book that has a lot of buzz. Something that is very popular, that is doing the rounds. So for me, that would be A Curse for True Love. This is the third installment in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, the final one. So I have already seen a lot of people vlog it. I've stayed away from anything that has spoilers, obviously, because I don't want to be spoiled. But that is the book I'm doing for that prompt. Then for Cloud, this is a book that might make you emotional. So for that one, I've done Bodywork, which I think is a collection of feminist essays about the body and your experiences that are put into the written word. Then for the Sun square, we have a happy book. So for me, I have picked a book by Neil Gaiman. This is What You Need to Be Warm, and I believe it's a children's book. And just the title of it already has just got me going, oh, you know, like I can tell I'm probably really going to get the feels from this book. In the Moon square, this is a book that is set in a country that differs from your own. So I have chosen The Land of Milk and Honey. I believe it is set in Italy. And then for Tree, it's a non-fiction book. So for that, I've chosen Eve, a woman's body over time, something of that range. It's all about women and it seemed interesting, so I've chosen Eve. Then for Daffodil, we have a book about friendship. So I have chosen The Cat Who Taught Zen after reading Tiny Dragon and Big Panda, which I loved their little friendship. I looked for more from the author and there's this one, so that seems to fit that prompt. Then for Cacti, a non-needy read, something that's really easy to read, that's not strenuous, it doesn't take a lot out of you. And so I picked a graphic novel for this one, and it is On a Sunbeam. Then for Variegated, we have a book that is rare or that has fewer online ratings. So something that's really under the radar, hasn't been talked about, not really doing the rounds. And for that, I've chosen 13th Hour. Then we have Propagation. So this is something that has been adapted to TV or movie. And for that, I've got Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Then we have The Spider. So this is a book that has dark themes. And for that, I've chosen The Silent Companion. For Lotus, it is a book that features disability. So I have chosen Anxious in a Sweet Store, which I believe is a collection of poems. And then we have Succulent, something that makes you hot. So it could be from lust, from anger, just something that gets your blood pumping, that gets you passionate. And I've gone for the lusty route with this one, so I've picked Throne of the Fallen. Then for Lily, we have Grief, so a book that sort of deals with grief, and I've chosen The Invocations for that one. For Snail, the prompt for this is something with a slow burn. I've taken it to mean a slow burn romance, so I've put The Roughest Draft under this prompt. Then for Water is an author I want more of. And for me, that would be the book Better Hate Than Never, as I just read this author's previous contemporary romance in this series, and I'd like to read the second installment to see if this is an author I'm going to want more of in the future. For Fertilizer, a book that nourishes my soul, I've chosen In the Company of Witches because it just looks really cozy and there've been a lot of good reviews about it. Everyone seems to just have nice things to say, so that's what I've chosen. For Green Carnation, we have something that has LGBTQ themes or written by an author in the community, and I've chosen the book Night Shine, which supposedly features a sapphic romance. For Tulip, we have a book about love, or one that you might love, and so I've picked Night Hunt for this. Look, there's a good chance if there's any sort of fantasy book that has a romance in it that I'm gonna love it, so I've put it there. Ladybugs, so they've put cute but could ruin my life. So for this one, I've put After the Forest because the cover's giving like very woodsy, cottagecore kind of cutes vibes, but after reading the synopsis, I'm like, oh, I think this might be darker. than the cover is portraying. I've got Root, so this is a reread. I don't tend to reread fiction, I tend to reread nonfiction, but if I was going to pick up a fiction book to reread, it'd probably be The Picture of Dorian Gray, because it's been quite a while since I have read that one and I know I do enjoy it. Earth, so this is a book that was published before 1990 and I've chosen Tregarron's Daughter. So then for Ivy, we have a book that has the highest rating on your TBR, and for me that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And then for Dandelion, a book that has been on my shelf for ages, and that one is Woman Eating. And then the last prompt is for Mole, and it is a book with a strong antagonist. This one was a little hard to do, but I've picked River of Golden Bones because supposedly there is an evil witch in it. So, you know, the very cliche archetypal kind of villain character. Those were all of the books that I planned to read to fill those prompts. In terms of how I'm going to choose, I don't know, I might just mood read, and then if that keeps happening and I'm not getting a bingo, I might end up really trying to get that bingo. But I will read all of these books at some point. But would I read all of them this month? I don't think so. This month is very socially busy for me, but if I don't read them this month, then probably by the end of the year, I will have read all of these books anyway. But yeah, this readathon looked like a lot of fun. So if you want to do it too, check out Alison Pages, and I think you use the hashtag Bloomin' Rat to participate. But until next time, stay wild, Star Child.